part 2 of why I do Legal Shield and what it means to me. So far, we were in the domestic cases. So legal, like I said, by the time I was done with all my domestic stuff and everything else, we were $1 million and some odd with legal bills. We were paying over $1,000 a month to retain a lawyer. There was just so much that we had to get done and had to accomplish. It was very, very difficult to. I'm making sure to pay attention to the road. Sorry. I could have spent more money for things with my daughter than putting all this legal stuff, but we had to pay out of pocket. I later, I closed my businesses. I did a lot of things for my daughter. All right, pause. All right, anyway, so the small cases killed me. The small cases, they just keep taking you out. They wipe you out. Yes, I was able to afford them, but it took everything I had. And then I started having to get money and borrow money and everything else to keep fighting for my daughter, fighting for just my livelihood. And when I got out of the Marine Corps, I had money for, because when you're in the Marine Corps, you make it combat pay, there's tax-free areas, all these different things we made money for, and I made a lot of money. In the nightclub, we were doing just fine. But it took all of our money to fight these lawsuits, but it didn't go to payouts or anything. We won all of our cases. We didn't have to pay anybody anything, but it would have been cheaper to do payouts and take the hit than what it costs to have the lawyers. So, on a personal level, what I found out, a buddy of mine who was in the Marine Corps and who's in the Marine Corps League with me and sits on several different military boards, he's like, Jeff, I want to talk to you. He goes, I know you have all these problems, you're stressed out. He goes, what are you more stressed out about? Are you more stressed out about, having to go to court for your daughter? Or are you more stressed out of, and I was like, no, because I want all that. But they, in order to do all this, they took all my money. And he goes, what if there's an easier way? Okay, tell me. He goes, he's like, so he wanted to sit down and talk with me. He just wanted about 15 minutes of my time. This guy being a Marine, I'll give him any amount of time he wants because he's a Marine Corps friend of mine. He's my buddy. If he wants to tell me something, even if I don't like it, don't agree with it, I'm going to give him the time of day. Why? He's a Marine Corps brother. And Marines stick together. I would do that for almost any military friend of mine, even if they're not a friend of mine, because I like to give vets the time of day. So he had it in with me. So what I did was I talked to him. We got to talking and everything else. And he sat there and told me about, believe it or not, I met this guy years back when I was building my nightclub because he was one of the heads of Lowe's. And he helped me get established in the not with Lowe's, but with getting my materials for Lowe's and everything else. And he tried to approach me a long time ago about all this. The stuff that he does for fun. And I was too busy fighting legal. I didn't want to talk to anybody about anything, but I told him someday I'd talk to him. I sat down and talked with him. Kind of wish I would have talked to him a lot sooner, because then he basically brought up Legal Shield. He's like, hey, your retainers are $1,000. I tell you what, he goes, what if I